up? This is Brandon from MON Comics, and you're about to enter the toy box. So Troy, giddy up.
Hey guys, and welcome into the awesome toy box. I'm your host T-Roy. How you guys doing today? So today's part one of what happened at Terrificon. And today we're going to kick off with our word of the day, Kismet. And if you don't know what Kismet is, that is the destiny or fate. It's a noun. Destiny or fate. So why is Kismet the word of the day? Is because my trip to Terrificon was full of little things that were fated to be. Like, there, some say coincidence, I say Kismet, because it was just too often, too quick. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to show you a couple of things. So those of you who were watching my videos, you know that my main thing I was going for, the whole reason that I was going for, as in comics wise, meeting everybody else was a whole different thing. And in one of my next videos, I'm going to be talking about that. Huge shout out to all those guys. They made me feel very welcome, even though I was from down south and not quite from up that area. You know, they made us all feel like we were just lifelong friends practically. But with that being said, I went there for this beauty right here. Savage Tales #1. The first appearance of the Man-Thing. Yes, it's not the best condition. It's probably a 4, I would say. But I got this thing for a steal. Absolute deal. I went to every booth. Day one, every booth. I missed like 2 or 3 booths, but I went back and hit them all up. This one was actually found by one of the booths I hadn't hit yet, and by my buddy JP, who does a little podcast with JP and Rohan. But he said, hey, they got one over at this thing. So I went and found him. He's like, it's right over there. And sure enough, they had it. And guys, I got this for $75, which is well over, I was expecting to spend $300-400 to get a copy of this in this kind of grade. One of those things with when you look at like cover price and all these price guides, this book is hard to find. So the price, people can put prices where they want. FMV is only whatever people are willing to pay, and I was willing to pay a lot more. I ended up getting this for $75. $75. Well, I'd given up on it, so I'd already bought a bunch of X-Men and stuff, so I was kind of getting low on funding for that day. So the fact that they quoted me a price of what I actually had it on me, that's Kismet. But what's even more Kismet is this right here. Whoop, right here. See that lovely photo? That's Carrie Jones. And if you don't know, he does a bunch. He's Predator. He's done some other stuff. He does a lot of special effects stuff, we found out. But he sat down, me and MON Comics, sat down at the bar waiting for everybody else to get done. And lo and behold, here he is sitting next to us. Brandon bought him a drink. He sat there and talked to us. Very nice guy. Took pictures with us. Really just had a conversation about, the industry and what all he's hoping to happen and what all he does. And he was Ted in The Werewolf by Night. So the fact that me and MON Comics, Brandon, both huge Man-Thing fans, go and sit down because we were the first ones done, and the 2 open seats at the bar that just happened to be sitting next to him, what else do you call it? That's Kismet. That's fate. Come on. So there's the first thing. There's the first bit of news saying, hey, this is fate. And like I said, you can see the picture. I'm going to show it again. Awesome. Awesome guy. So on the first day there, we all had breakfast with this guy. If you don't know who that is, that's Walt Simonson. Amazing artist. Him and his wife are both in the industry. Louise Simonson. So he was there by himself. She was under the weather, he told us, but great guy, great stories. Enjoyed the time we had there. Mike from Lunch Money Comics is one who actually, I believe, invited him to come sit and eat with everybody. I got there just a little bit late. Ended up sitting right next to him, which was awesome. So that first day, I was like, I'm going to go find a comic because I want something from him that kind of signifies, hey, you know, not only did I get to eat, I have this picture of eating breakfast with him, but I also want to get his autograph on a comic. And one of the comics that I love that he's done was the New Teen Titans and X-Men crossover. So I found a copy. I put it away, and I'm like, okay, next day in the morning, first thing I'm gonna knock that out and get. Well, I had to leave a little bit because my vehicle I had was a charging vehicle, so I had to go find a charger for it, EV vehicle. Went and found a charger, and while I was there, I just asked the people, I was like, hey, is there any good places, like any like antique stores or anything like that? And they're like, hey, yeah, there's this good one. Long story short, I go to this antique store, and there, in the bin, there is one single magazine. It's Comic Scenes. And as you can see there, it's X Factor's Walt Simonson. And, I mean, come on. This is issue number 3. So, I grab it. I'm like, this is, I mean, what are the odds that the only magazine they have there is got a huge main article by Walt Simonson. So I'm like, okay, I got it, done. So the next day comes around, going for breakfast. I got there really late. I stopped and actually ate at McDonald's. Tried to save some money. Excuse me. I'm still exhausted after all these days. I tried to save some money, and lo and behold, guess who's eating breakfast with us, with everybody again? This guy. There you go. Walt Simonson again. So I just stood right down there. We listened to his stories, listened to him talk. And I told him, hey, I'm going to get it. So I showed it and got him. And I ended up getting his signature. You can see it right there, right across the comics. Iconic, which is cool, because you can actually see his signature down here, too, from the actual magazine. And then his real signature right there. So he was like our unofficial breakfast buddy. As you can see here, we actually took a group photo of all of the guys that got together, and that we have the Council of X from Colossus Collector, all his members, and some other people. MON Comics. We all got together for a picture, and it's right here, and you can see right there. Walt Simonson's in our group photo. I mean, how awesome is that? You guys, I mean, that's just truly awesome. So, you think, as like I said, I mean, it's Kismet. Like, what was the odds I would run into that exact issue in some random antique mall that only had 2 booths with comics, and that thing was in there with it? I mean, come on, that's crazy. So, coincidence is done? No. Because inside the antique mall, I found this comic right here. Savage Dragon, number 253. It's the Decision 2020 variant. So this, I bought a bunch of comics. They were all $1 a piece at that antique mall, except I think I paid $3 for that comic thing. But anyways, these were all $1 a piece. I had them stacked up in my back seat, and somehow this one ended up underneath this front seat. So when I stopped that morning, this had actually slid out and was sitting in the passenger seat, in the floorboard. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to leave it in here just in case, what have you. I threw it in my bag. So as I'm walking around in the morning, guess who I run into? That's right, Eric Larson. He's sitting at his table. No line, no nothing, sitting there drawing. And I just say, hey, loved your work. I said, I can tell you, right now, he's got, McFarlane set the tone. And when I found out McFarlane was going to leave Amazing Spider-Man, I was like, well, I'm out, But then Eric Larson came in, and I liked his artwork enough. I mean, it wasn't I mean, it wasn't McFarlane, but I liked the way he drew Venom. I liked the way he drew a lot of things. It was a good art that I enjoyed, so I stayed. And I told him that. And then I asked him, I said, well, how much you charge for autographs? And he said, nothing. And I just happened to have this in there. So, you know, he was nice enough to sign that for me. So there you go. I mean, that's my Kismet story. Kind of. So this next one, it was not as Kismet as you would think, but I still find it unique and amazing. But I was walking through and I saw this Vampirella, Dead Flowers. I was like, oh, that is awesome. And the cover is by Buzz, great artist, and he also had the Virgin variant, which was limited to 200 pieces. So I loved that, and I thought it was cool. And he was sitting there, and I started talking to him, and he said, "You really like those?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I do." I said, "You know, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the set." He's like, "Well, you know what? There is a third one of these, but I only have from my personal collection." And he said, "But if you really want it, I'll hook you up." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say no." So he had the sketch variant, and as you can see, it's limited to 100, and this was number 2 of 100. Absolutely awesome. And again, I don't know if that's really Kismet or fate that I ended up snagging that, but it was definitely luck, because I was just walking through and it just caught out of the corner of my eye. So there you guys go. So there's how today was brought to you by the word Kismet. So hopefully you guys use that word. If you never heard it before, you learned something from my channel today. Huge shout out to everybody who I met there. I can tell you right now, I had plans to do all sorts of things, and time just gets away from you. We were having so much fun. I wish I had more one-on-one with some of the people. I did have some one-on-2 and one-on-3, and I truly think I made some friends. Hopefully they feel the same. But guys, I enjoyed my experience so much, and my next video will actually be my haul video, and it's going to be a long one, guys, because I got a lot of cool stuff. And hopefully you'll come back for that one, and that'll be part 2 of my TriffCon trip, and we'll have a unique word for that day, that one too. I don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll figure it out. But until next time, guys, make sure you check on your friends, family, and loved ones. Make sure they're okay. Make sure they know you're doing okay. As always, we say around here, don't forget, collectors help collectors. Peace. I'm out.